Riley. Well, earlier, the satirist and author P.J. O'Rourke spoke to me from Washington. Although he's a lifelong Republican, he's no fan of Trump and famously voted for Hillary Clinton. And I started by asking him why in his latest book he describes Trump as a big, stupid bully.
He's a strange mixture of cunning and cleverness and stupidity. I've been telling everybody in the United States that the way you have to deal with Donald Trump is you have to take yourself back to the time when you were raising toddlers, you know, and it's like, oh, what a very clever child you are. Oh, no, now you've crayoned all over the wall, you know. I mean, he has a toddler-like mix of cleverness and with huge blank spots in between.
But why do you think Americans who are now discovering what his cuts are going to mean for their lives thought that he was going to be an ally, that he was like them? I mean, have they been conned or were they stupid?
Well, no, I don't think they were stupid. I think they were desperate. Trump was a naive choice. So I would say, and then again, how disappointed will his supporters be? Well, it won't be for a while because we're in the business. We follow this all very carefully, and we're seeing indications of complete clumsiness and ignorance from the president. But people who don't follow politics at a micro level aren't going to see this for another 5 or 6 months. And for a while, Trump supporters will be satisfied that everything Trump does seems to make the liberals and the mainstream media and all the pundits like myself makes us furious, and they'll be happy about that for a while.
Doesn't it then make it quite easy for him to win another term? I mean, all he needs to do is win some jobs, do something in those Rust Belt states that he can claim is his, and he'll say, well, I'm doing what I said I'd do.
Yeah, well, that's a long way out. A second term is a long way out. And, you know, one never, ever in this world wants to wish for a crisis. But, you know, all the wounds in the Trump administration have been self-administered. Our bomb squads here in the United States have a term for people who are making bombs and blow themselves up. And it's called a self-criticizing exercise. Wonderful phrase, I think. And so everything with the Trump administration so far has been a self-criticizing exercise. But trouble will come from the outside. And when, and it's not a matter of if, but when that crisis happens, then I think we'll see the mettle of the man, and I don't think there's much mettle there.
Do you think it will have to be a really big crisis, though? Because what we see is, as you say, all these sort of self-inflicted wounds don't seem to matter. I mean, the latest one about where the British intelligence were the ones who were really bugging him, you know, which British intelligence have said, well, GCHQ have said was rubbish and shouldn't be believed, and then the White House have said, OK, we won't say that anymore. I mean, that in the old days would have been regarded as a massive gaffe.
Yes, I mean, we definitely are in the off into the blowhard era, and you know, I think people do recognize that he's a blowhard, but gosh, it's just such a strange phenomenon to have the President of the United States that all of his aides and his press secretary and so are forced into using air quotes about everything that he says. And it's so 90s, you know, I thought air quotes had kind of gone out of fashion, but no, they've suddenly come back in, you know, oh, well, you got to understand, you know, I mean, he's just blowing off some steam here. It's, you know, when it's not like dealing with a toddler, it's like dealing with a drunk uncle, you know, at Christmas dinner, you know, I mean, and he doesn't drink. That's the scary part.
P.J. O'Rourke, thank you very much.